Hey guys, welcome back to the Debate Tot. I'm Grace, and today we're going to do a spoiler review of this week's Only Murders in the Building Season 4, Episode 6, Blow Up. A documentary film is made by the brothers sisters. So we're going to get straight into it, but before we start, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on the episodes, any theories, ideas. Just let us know. It'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So I actually really enjoyed this episode. I think this might be my favorite one so far for the entire fourth season. Watching this episode made me feel like I was watching an actual documentary because they style it so brilliantly, because they use so many cameras, angle, and framing techniques that they've performed from certain types of documentaries, such as expository, observational, but mainly crime drama. They also use archive footage style, which makes it really old-fashioned and very interesting. Even the intro at the beginning and the five act structure parts in the episode looks kind of old-fashioned but interesting as well. It kind of reminded me of that episode in season 2, episode 5, where they film a scene where everyone is dressed up and the location is started in the 70s. I knew we were going to learn about the brother sisters' background, and I wasn't expecting to find that story so weird. Like the beginning scene, it was like watching an opening to a horror film, I must admit, especially when they were playing eerie music in the background. It was like watching the creation of Frankenstein. There was even a moment where the film teacher in the beginning said chaos is good. That sends a chills down our spines. We head straight back to the last week's cliffhanger, where we see through a phone filming the whole gunfiring scene, who is probably shot probably by the same shooter. We see all three Olivers down on the floor. Now, a part of me thought they were shielding themselves, like ducking down on the floor. But when I saw the blood, I thought for the worst. I was scared for Oliver's life. Like, oh no, we're not gonna lose him. Like, we can't get, we lost Sides, we can't lose Oliver. But apparently the blood came from the stunt man, Irish Ben, and Zach. Thankfully, they're still breathing, but I wasn't quite sure because there was so much blood in that scene that I was thinking like, oh no, we're gonna lose one of them. I couldn't know who to pick. I was kind of leaning for Irish Ben to live because he made me laugh. No offense, Zach, but Charles, Oliver, and Mabel escape the photo shoot and were in a cab where Howard joins them with a camera filming them, which gives us a realistic vibe that we're following the main characters, but from a different perspective, not following them like straight camera angles, just like kind of like a shaken, just by a shaken camera. And it actually gives us a kind of like a shaken feeling, like we're scared for our characters. Inside the building, we see that the cameras are being set up in the hallways. Uma said that they are being set up due to the murders that's been happening over the years, which makes sense. But I thought that perhaps it was instructed by the filmmakers. And now that the trio have their eye on the sisters, I mean, kind of makes sense. I mean, what makes them creepier is that they were literally outside the elevator filming the trio after the shooting. I mean, does that? The trio reached to Oliver's apartment, which is safe because no one has been killed there yet. Howard asks Oliver if you're okay, you seem upset, which made Oliver say, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, Howard, you had that one coming. That's also bugs me in the real world. Like if something bad happened to you that nearly affected your life, and someone goes up to you and asks, are you okay? I would be irritated and say, open your freaking eyes. What looks you just see what happened? Someone knocks on the door, so panic arises, but it was only Detective Williams. She tells them that Irish Ben and Zach are all right. Somehow the bullet grazed past the side of Irish Ben's head and then it hits Zach. Now this is when it gets really creepy. So Donna asks Howard to turn off his camera, and we notice that other cameras are being filmed around the apartment, giving us chills, and like we don't even know where these cameras come from. But I think we also figure out that the sisters planted them. And there was even one in Oliver's fridge. I'm like, seriously? What the hell is up with these crazy chicks like planting secret cameras around? Like, I love the fact that they're into filming because I did filming as well, like a filming course. But these characters are so weird. Like, they're like the mixture of Willy Wonka's craziness and Alison Reynolds' weirdness and awkwardness from The Breakfast Club. I mean, just it just works. It's weird and creepy. Donna tells again that Dunkov wasn't in Portugal the whole time and was back in New York doing some checks around the same time that Saz was murdered. Donna hands Charles a box of Saz's ash and metal joints, which was really sweet and touching of her because we all know how much Saz means to Charles. The trio go up to the penthouse to meet the film crew again, as Bev called for an emergency meeting. Mabel suggested that Howard comes along with them while filming his camera because then nothing would have happened to them or no one would come at them because it would be all on camera. And also, no one will get killed on camera, according to Howard. But yeah, I'd rather not search up if that's true, but yeah, let's not do that. Bev gathered everyone around and announced that the film would go on. Then we see Zach in the hospital filming himself, telling that he's been threatened by Bev to continue the movie. She even threatened his life. Like, there's something dodgy about that woman there. Mabel talks to Marshall about the twins as their new suspects, and he told her about their student film that they made years ago. The trio decided to watch it, and which looks creepy and cool, I must admit. And then we discovered that Pink Eye Guy was in it. Like, what the hell? They head off to the west side of the building to meet Pink Eye Guy, and Charles noticed that his eye patch has moved, which is very suspicious. Now I'm thinking that maybe his pink eye was just makeup the whole time. Christmas guy was in the apartment, and apparently they got a drone from an old woman who died tragically, by the way. She was decapitated by the side mirror of a bus, and that sounds way too familiar to some of the death scenes from Final Destination. Don't watch it if you're not into gruesome deaths. On the bright side, though, they got a drone, so yay for them, I guess. The trio confronted Pink Eye Guy about the student film, and he told them that he was in the same class with the brother sisters, and Donkov was actually their film teacher, and he was just doing it for a favor. Charles and Howard stayed with the Westie weirdos so they can use their drone, which has a camera on it. I mean, apparently everything has a camera on these days, and they can use it to spy out on the brother sisters in the penthouse. I don't quite understand that really, because Charles was hoping to get to use a drone to peek inside the penthouse as well to check on the suitcase that they've been carrying around. But if the window was closed, then how would that work? Charles dropped the bombshell that Dunkov is back, which shocked the others. Now, from the look on their faces and the reactions, they either seem completely in denial or they were absolutely lying and pretending like nothing, like it doesn't matter. Forgetting that they were using a drone outside, it was heading straight back to them. Charles slams the windows before it would crash into them, and the drone bounced off and fell off over the edge. And what made me laugh is that we heard someone from down below shouting, "What the F?" Oh God, that's crazy. Meanwhile, Oliver called Loretta and told her about he wanted to marry her when they were in LA, and he wanted to marry her now after escaping death. And I found it so sweet and brave of him to actually do that. But my heart dropped when we heard her on the phone saying, "Oh." Now that could mean anything. So Loretta probably be speechless on the other side. But I have a bad feeling that maybe she kind of sounded like she had a late night, maybe from a hangover or maybe from a sleepover, if you catch my drift. The gang came back together, and Howard brings back Gravy, the dog, who accidentally knocked over Charles's box that has Saz's ashes and metal joints. But this is when it gets very interesting. They found out that there's more than one metal joint, and they both described that they were used to be put in a left shoulder. So it's either that Saz had two left shoulders, or there was more than one person who died in the incinerator So the gang believed that Saz was looking into that same murder victim, and that victim was killed by Dunkov. He went into hiding after the gang started their podcast 4 years ago and used the Bubba sisters to try to kill the trio, which makes perfect sense. They all went to confront the sisters, and they quickly admit that they were in the building when Saz died, and they wanted to see Dunkov. It was really freaky when they admitted that they would kill for him, especially when they said it at the same time. I'm getting vibes from the twin sisters from The Shining. We then see a flashback to Dunkov giving the sisters his own cameras. So I kind of got the sense that maybe Dunkov wasn't exactly bad or creepy as I thought. And then Mabel gets a text from Donna about who the other left shoulder metal joint belongs to, and it turns out it was Donkov. And the sisters were so upset, of course, and said that they lost contact with him after they made it to Hollywood. They took the opportunity to film in the building to be close to him, thinking that he was upset with them, but in actuality, he was there the entire time, so he couldn't really call back if you're dead. In the long suitcase, the gang found out that they were carrying around mini cameras that the sisters installed around the building and inside the apartments, which, hello, insane! They go back to the apartments to get all the cameras, and Oliver found one that didn't actually belong to the sisters. This one belonged to the killer. What's worse is that the killer sent them pics of themselves either from a day, a week, or a month ago. So we have no idea how long the killer has been watching the three. And if that doesn't freak them out, the killer sent them the same message, I'm watching you. So that is the end of this week's episode. So for theories, earlier in this episode in the car, Charles started to think that now the killer is trying to kill all of them. First Charles, but accidentally kills Saz. Now Oliver, and will probably go after Mabel. I think he might be right about that. I was confused though about how the killer managed to shoot Irish Ben and Zach and not Oliver if he was also the target. I'm thinking that the trio aren't really the targets, but maybe the killer wants to torture them in any way they can. Maybe it's like a revenge sort of thing. I have no idea who the killer would definitely be, but I have suspicions on the two assistants who work for Bev. The woman in the glasses, Heather, and the guy in the black shirt. I don't know why yet, but I have a slight feeling that they might have some secrets to share. It's a gut feeling, but just have to wait and see. We heard from Donna that Jan was spotted again in the city, so I have a theory that maybe Jan might help the trio near the end of the season to help them solve the crime and catch the killer. I realized that some of the West weirdos were in a filmmaking course or in the same similar industry, and that's possibly how they knew Donkov from the beginning. I wonder if they were the ones who killed Donkov, maybe because he didn't give them enough attention on them like he did on the brother sisters. Maybe it was jealousy that drove them to murder Donkov. And then another idea came to mind is that the scratched face on the frame that we seen earlier in the season, maybe that's the face of Donkov, and they really hated him, and Sam was going to try to find out who killed him. But why would Saz care about this particular man who died? And then I thought maybe she knew Donkov from her past in the film industry. But the real question is who is the fake Donkov who's been sending checks and been collecting rent from the West Side? It could be one of the crewmates, but I'm not too sure. But I'm telling you now, this is just getting way too interesting now. So for next week's episode, season 4, episode 7, Valley of the Dolls. Terrified by a threat inside the Arconia, the trio race out of the city. A member of Charles's family provides refuge, and yet the safe house provides to be anything but. Okay, so from that description, we know that we will see Charles's sister, Doreen, played by Melissa McCarthy, and I think there will definitely be drama between those two siblings. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. So, guys, that's the end of my review for Only Murders in the Building, Season 4, Episode 6. Thank you for watching. Before you leave, though, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on the episode. Do you have any theories about who the killer might be? Do you have any ideas about what we might get in the future episodes? Or is anything in this episode that I might have missed? So yeah, be interesting to hear them. You can also check out our other reviews that we've done in the past. We've done season 2 of Only Murders in Building. We also done some other reactions to other shows like The Orville, Lucifer. We've done reviews of Wynonna Earp, Sarah Jane Adventures. We've done so much, guys. Check them all out. They're on our channel. We also done some Disney and Marvel reviews and actions, games, pranks, the whole lot. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. If you do, we will follow you back. That's a promise. And you can also check out our website that tells you information about the team and some of the videos we've done in the past. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching again, and we will see you next time. Bye.